This is the look of somebody who had lost a lot of money on this job. Let's break this down. If you follow this channel, you've known that I've been doing a larger project that I took on almost exclusively by myself since last year that went into this year quite a bit. And you would have seen that we recently published the time lapse of that project from start to finish. Now, there was a lot going on in this project, especially for one person to tackle by themselves. All in total, it was about 1,500 square feet of large slabs, a mixture of pavers, along with about 100 linear feet of bullnose coping around a swimming pool. Lots of gardens that came out, about 50 linear feet of a retaining wall in the back, along with some returns, and about 40 feet of privacy screens. There's some side walkways in there as well, lots of lighting, and a pergola that I did not actually do. But I did prep the footings for the pergola. Now, this project started last year. Around mid-October, I started to break ground on this project. And what that looked like was a lot of demo. So there's already pavers installed. So we removed the pavers, we removed the back retaining wall, and we started tearing out these gardens. Now, immediately on my first day, I already had some problems. The table saw that I was working with caused the generator to catch fire. And then I tried to plug in the table saw into the outlet on the house and it didn't work. So it made me think that I burnt out something in the actual table saw. So I had to get that checked out. Turns out it was totally fine. Then we got hit with lots and lots of rain. And if you go back to all of those videos, which we'll actually have a link at the very end and in the description below to a playlist with all the episodes from this project, it just rained nonstop on this project. The winter definitely came early last year, which also makes you a lot less efficient. We were laying on gator base, which is nice because I could just take the leaf blower and blow off the snow on top of the gator base to be able to start laying on top. But that takes time, and time that I did not account for, unfortunately, in that initial quote when I had priced it out. Then all the snow melted and I could get a little bit more work done, and then snow came and shut me down completely last year. When I could finally get started this year, we were off to the races. And that's something that I should have accounted for in my pricing for the project, especially since we knew that it was going to be in the fall that this landed on. But ultimately what happened was I quoted this project the year prior to this, so this was back in 2021. We landed the job in 2022 and I squeezed it into the end of my schedule to try to get it done for the end of the year. Now, in addition to that, in the initial design, I had designed returns in the wall, take care of the slopes in the back corner, that the returns would cover up those slopes, which would allow us to lay our pavers right up to the retaining wall. Now, fast forward a year later when we went to revisit the design and the client wanted those returns out, and I had not even made notes on why I had put those returns in, I decided, yeah, you know what, we can take out those returns, no problem. And then I get on site and I start actually preparing everything, getting the excavation done, and realize why I had those returns in the first place. So in my opinion, that falls on me as the contractor. That would not be a change order. That's a change in scope of work that the client did not bring up to me. That was something that it was my responsibility to know. So those returns and the retaining walls, that comes out of my pocket to build out for the client. And what that looks like is two 10-foot retaining walls between the pergola posts. It's about 18 inches high for the retaining wall, along with natural stone cap on top. And then about 15 feet on the other side, but this was a smaller retaining wall, probably about less than a foot high with natural stone caps on top as well. In addition to that, always got to put hardscape lights in everything. So that was an additional 2, 4, 6 hardscape lights to also put in that as well. Add all that together in just in materials, we're about this dollar amount. But in the labor of that, we have a lot more days to put into that, especially when it's just me preparing this. Some other things I did not account for were the waste in material that I noticed quite a few slabs had cracked over the winter. So we had to go back and replace those. There was just ultimately more product that I needed to have delivered to the job site, which I didn't need in the first place, to be able to replace these broken slabs that would show up. Another thing that happened was the privacy screens. When they got delivered, they did not include some of the hardware. So then I had to wait a couple of more weeks for the hardware to show up. Finally, when it did, I could continue to install those privacy screens. Not to mention the semi-permeable jointing compound. I love this stuff. The end result is incredible, but to install it is a complete pain pain and it takes a long time. And every time I think that I can squeeze it in a shorter period of time, it takes me twice as long to complete. And it's not cheap stuff. It's about 3 times the price of polymeric sand. And then the pergola wasn't installed by me, so I did have some wasted time in there to figure out my schedule around the pergola build as well. So looking at that in the future, I will definitely be taking care of pergola builds for any of my projects that go up. Just helps me take control of my schedule a little bit more to be able to account for that, so that I'm not hopping around and being able to work around another schedule that's going up. With all being said, we put in about a month and a half last year's worth of work. That's mid-October to about beginning of December. I would say about 7 weeks there. And then this year, we put in about 4 weeks of work sporadically there as well. And with all that said, with all that additional labor and the materials that go on top of that, as well as my overhead costs that go into this, I probably lost about this much money. Now, when you're talking about losing money on a project, first that comes out of the business profit. That's the first thing that you lose, is the money that the business makes. The second thing that you would lose would be your own owner's salary, because owner's salary and company profits are completely different. You're a completely different entity than that of your business. Your business makes profit, your business makes money, as well as your business pays you yourself as the owner a salary. So that would be the second thing that takes a hit. And then when you don't have any money for the salary that you would pay yourself from that project, then that's when you actually start to lose some money. I didn't get into that point, just a little bit off the top, for the business to earn a profit on this project, and all said and done, I still can earn some money and earn a living on this project. Just didn't earn as much as I could and thought I would have. So then this comes down to, do I take on projects like this going forward in the future if I do not have a crew with me? And ultimately, yes, I will. I want to continuously stretch myself and learn more to be able to put in more and more projects like this, like these designs that I put together, because this is where my passion lies in this industry, and this is where I'm really excited going to work for and to build these amazing outdoor living spaces. I take this as a learning experience, and I move forward and I price the next job appropriately using the production rates that I've accumulated in this project. Every year I try to take on at least 2 to 3 projects that stretch myself, that cause me to get out of my comfort zone, that help me to learn more about different products in the industry, different installation techniques, or just different things in general to add to each and every project, like privacy screens, like gas fire features a couple of years ago, hardscape lighting a few years ago, and everything like this starts to add on top of itself, on top of myself as the business owner, to learn these new skills and to have a complete package that I can continuously market to new clients, to show them what we can do in the business and to continuously provide quality end products to my client. Like I said, if you want to see this project from start to finish, there's a playlist linked below, or it'll show up here at some point, where you can click on and see every single video we've accumulated from this project from start to finish. If you have any questions, comments, leave a comment in the comment section below. I'll answer anybody and everybody. Like this video if you found it helpful for whatever reason, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more hardscaping content like this. Thank you so much for watching. What's happening, hardscapers?